Welcome back to my channel, everybody. This is Errol from Bodies by Errol here on the treadmill. Just going through my, warm-up session for my legs day. Just wanted to talk about warm-up, cool down, the beginning and end of your workouts or your activities. Growing up, they taught us about warm up and warm down. That's one of the things that we learned about that was a little bit contradicting, because you warm up to increase your body temperature, so warming down didn't make any sense over time, especially after studying at GC Foster College, going through all the different science subjects, sporting areas, learning about the body and how the body functions before, during, and after exercise. It's warm up and cool down, because you want to increase the blood flow and blood pressure for starting off, preparing the muscles and the body for activity. And when you're done, you want to bring it back to a state of normality for cool down. So different types of stuff you learn over years, adjustments are made. Usually you warm up, you let you jog and do some activities, and then they would do static stretching. And I thought about talking about this because static stretching is a part of, it's not dynamic. So for warming up, I don't believe it is supposed to be an activity that is done during your warm-up sessions, because static stretching is what relaxes the muscles, and it is not preparing the muscles for movement, it's more preparing the muscles for rest. So just here trying to share a bit of knowledge based on my experiences, based on my research, which is, I wouldn't say the greatest, it is somewhat limited, but based on my experience, static stretches usually basically make you feel slower. When you go into a game or into a match or into an activity, after static stretching, after warming up and static stretching, it makes you feel a bit lagged, because it's like the muscles are not pliable enough, the joints are not getting through their full range of motion as quickly as possible. So basically it's during the activity that you started, while the muscles and joints and everything start functioning effectively over a period. So usually my warm-ups are walks on the treadmill, dynamic stretches based on the activity that I'll be taking part in. Or if I'm playing a sport, I usually just go through slow movements that is relating to the sport. So it's more of a situation where we have to understand what we're going to do, or what we want to do or want to achieve from our warm-up. And you go through your activity, because your warm-up really helps you to get prepared for the activity, so to reduce the chances of getting injured, and ensure that you're prepared for whatever movement or whatever skill you're about to partake in. So you have to prepare yourself or prepare your body for that movement by utilizing the dynamics of the muscle groups and the joint range of motions to execute the movement. So you try to make sure the activities for your warm-up are similar to what you're about to take part in. So it's just for us to understand how we function better. You don't have to be the biggest physiologist or the biggest kinesiologist. It's just to understand what you're doing, what you want from your workouts or your activity, understanding injury prevention. Instead of trying to recover after being injured, it's better to prepare yourself before. It's not that you can't get injured still, but the chances are lower of getting injured. because injuries can come from other factors. Uh, just take your time, find a routine that works for you, that gives you the best warm up, or optimize your warm up, or most optimal warm up for you specifically, and make it as dynamic as possible. Warm up should be dynamic. Your cool down, that's where you stretch and hold long stretches, you know, long stretches to relax and to basically slow down the flow and put yourself in a state of recovery or a state of rest. That's basically what your cool down is. And it's also very important in the in the injury prevention protocol. The cool down, very, very important, because your body needs to get back to a state of rest and not always thinking that you're still moving, because your tendons tend to take an extremely long time to deactivate or to realize that you're not in a state of activity, or you're not moving, or you're not, working. The blood flow to them are not as good as the blood flow to the muscle itself. So they don't adjust as quickly. And that's why warm-ups are so important, and that's why cool-downs are so important. You have to basically know and understand that both are at the extreme ends of our activity, but they are both important. And we should practice warming up and cooling down properly. I don't know how this video will turn out. I don't know if it sounds like anything important to anybody, but just here to talk, just here to share some information, just to give insight into things that I do and things that I've learned and things that I've experienced over a prolonged period. And it has worked for me. It has worked for me. I am, stronger than I was maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago. I'm 42 now, but yet I feel better now than I felt in my entire life. I push forward to, help myself get better daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. And I also try to share, from my life to see, possibly if I inspire one person, if I make one person want to be a better person for themselves, whether mentally, physically, whatever it is. So, thank you for watching. See you again, trying to share as much as I possibly can, trying to give, viewers from my channel. Thank you very much. My subscribers, more content, my real life. I try not to hide anything, try not to do too much editing when I speak, especially because I want people to know that, listen, I'm a real person. I'm going to make errors, and I don't know everything. So if you want to comment. It doesn't matter. Negative, positive, I accept it all. Have a good day. Errol from Bodies by Errol. See you again.